Alright, I ran half marathon yesterday, so today's training looks a little bit different to normal. I did put a race effort in yesterday and it's a pretty tough course, and I was assuming my legs would feel fairly rough today, so the plan was always going to be to see how things are feeling and run according to how my legs are feeling. As it turns out, they feel alright. Like, I've got DOMs, my quads don't feel amazing, my glutes are, yeah, definitely some DOMs there, but going on an adventure, on the whole, feel alright. So I'm just gonna run about 5k this morning. It is a day off today, so I've got time to fit whatever I need to fit in. So 5k this morning, see how it all feels, spend the rest of the day doing my errands and video editing and whatnot, and then this afternoon, if my legs are still feeling okay, I'm going to go out for another 5k easy jog, is the plan. Have now also done 5 consecutive weeks of 100 kilometres, and I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like I'm managing my overall training load pretty well. Fitness is building nicely. Just keep doing that until I need to taper for the British Fell Champs. Good morning again, because I'm really good at content creation. I forgot to take the camera on yesterday afternoon's run, but I did get another 5k easy jog in. Not really much to report, it was fine. This morning my glutes feel a bit more sore than they did yesterday, just slightly. Feel okay. So I'm gonna do my session, but not do it particularly hard. Just kind of let the legs move how they're gonna move. So this is about 3k jog to warm up, and then probably 4 by 6 minutes. We'll see. If I'm feeling a bit ropey, I'll cut the session early, but we'll aim for 4 by 6 minutes. Just get into sub-threshold. We might not get very far into sub-threshold based on how my legs are feeling, but yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Play it by ear. It's raining. Probably should have worn a coat. Gonna get moist. Okay, let's go. And there we go. 6 minutes. I'm gonna walk for a minute and then go again. I'm using a mountain bike trail. Obviously there's no bikes on it this time in the morning, so it works quite nicely. Lots of ups and downs to contend with, some longer sections of climb. Yeah, it just covers the sort of skill set that I need to be using. Right, it is time to go again. Wet are we getting? Quite wet. Yeah, that's feeling alright. So, do a couple more reps, I reckon. Which is basically another round of the loop. And then wrap it up there. Do a cool down. Yeah, there's some soreness, but it's not really anything that I can't deal with, and I actually think doing a session a bit like this probably helps clear them out a little bit. Oh, time to go. And rep 3 done. Okay, all reps complete. Yeah, that felt fine. I think it was probably the right call to do a session today, but just not like optimize the effort, as it were. If I was doing this session in a week where I hadn't raced a half marathon at the weekend, I'd probably be trying to like stay a lot closer to LT2, whereas in there I kind of came up to it a few times, but a lot of the session was quite a bit below it. I have quite a high LT2. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the physiological reasons for that are, but it does mean I can do this sort of workout quite effectively. I'm just going to jog home now at whatever pace feels sensible, eat food, and I'll run to and from work. Whether I remember to film any of the run commutes is yet to be seen.
Wednesday I run to work, I just do an easy run commute, and then I have an upper body workout before I coach clients, which I forgot to film much of, so here's me doing some pull-ups. Most of my upper body stuff is more geared towards supporting the bouldering, which I do once or twice a week. Completely forgot to film any of that this week, so you'll just have to live without my amazing bouldering talent. And then once I've finished coaching clients on a Wednesday, I run home. Nothing super exciting on Wednesdays, unfortunately.
Thursday morning. Alright, just on 3k jog warm up over to the hill that I use for my Thursday morning workout. It'll be sub-threshold again. We'll start with 1 kilometre of continuous uphill running, and then I'll turn around, jog back down the hill for 1 minute, and then I'll do hard downhill running. This is all on trail as well. Hard downhill running until I kind of get to the point where I need to relax a bit and jog to the start of the second uphill, which is shorter. Push that one at about sub-threshold, jog back down until I've done a minute hard downhill, etc, etc, until I've got through the volume I want to do for the workout. So the Tuesday workout kind of gets the legs spinning and moving after the weekend, and this Thursday workout is much more specific to what I'm working on for the summer training, conditioning the legs for continuous harder uphill running and conditioning the legs for hard downhill running. So I guess we'll call this my specificity, I always find it really hard to say that word, my specificity session for the Summerfell racing. Alright, let's run uphill for a kilometre. Okay. First rep done. And now we have a minute jog. I've done hill reps in my training for a long time, and I used to just absolutely hammer them. I'd be cooked at the top with like every rep, which obviously just reduces the overall quality of the reps. So running uphill at sub-threshold just works way better for actually getting some good work in. and really helps with working on that lactate clearance, which is the sort of thing you need for races with a lot of uphilling. And now we jog. It's going to be more than a minute jog, unfortunately, just the way the trails work out. So that downhill rep was about 3 minutes, which does mean that unfortunately I'm probably not far off it going under 3 minutes, which is not ideal. Quite like it to stay around 3 minutes. So I think maybe instead of jogging at the top of the uphill, I might have to do a standing rest if that downhill's going to keep getting faster. Okay, uphill number 2. Same with that uphill. It's not actually long enough anymore. So I'll keep it as it is for this session, but I think I might have to modify the session and just use the long uphill, I think. Alright, hard downhill number 2. Yeah, I can definitely get a bit more of a flowy downhill on this rep. So the top section of the trail is fairly technical, but the bottom section is it's flat, so it's quite easy to run on, which is good for working on speed. Alright, long rep number 2. Ooh, I think today my legs feel glad I've not got another long rep to do. I'm going to walk rest this to see if that gives me a little bit more time on the downhill. So 1, maybe 2 more hard downhills, see how my legs are feeling, and then a short uphill between those 2 reps is what I've got left now. Okay, let's go. Okay, doing walk rest at the top did enable me to get that rep to last longer than 3 minutes. So that's good. Use this setup for a bit longer yet. Okay, last uphill. Okay, all done. Yeah, I'm not going to do that last hard downhill. My legs are feeling sufficiently tired, and some quick maths does suggest I've done my 30 minutes ish of sub-threshold work, so I don't need to do a hard downhill. I do need to put my top back on before I run back through places where there are people. And just while we're here, this is ancient oak woodland, actual ancient oak woodland. You can tell by how strange and gnarled the trees are. It's part of why I like coming here. There's not a lot of woodland like this left in the UK. Another really good example is Wismans Wood down in Dartmoor. It's a really interesting place. So I'm in the city right now. Like the city is around me. I've seen 2 people. One of the reasons I really like living in Sheffield is you get these places that, despite being kind of like otherwise surrounded by urban landscape, there's still this, and a lot of the time you can have it to yourself. It's just really cool. Also, just being able to run here from home, and I don't have to drive anywhere to get technical trails and like good uphill terrain. It's we're a bit spoilt, I think, as off-road runners around here, because I've got all this like on my doorstep, and then when I've got more time, it's really only a short drive if I want to get into the peaks. It's ideal. It's really good. Once I get back, I'm gonna get some carbs in quickly, and then run a really hot bath and kind of extend the workout into a little bit of heat training. I don't have easy access to a sauna. It's one thing I'm missing. So hot bath is the next best thing. I'm obviously not going to film myself in the bath. That would be weird. So next time I see you will be later today at the gym when I do my lower body strength session.
My strength training stays pretty similar year round. I have one session a week that is squat focused and one session a week that is deadlift focused, but every session has plyometrics in. I do some light stuff to warm up and then some heavier stuff once I've warmed up, both double-legged and single-legged. At the moment, I'm in a strength development phase, so I do like a couple of warm-up sets of my heavy compound bilateral stuff, and then I'm doing 4 sets of 6 reps, with the intention of having 1 or 2 reps in reserve, because I don't want to go to failure. I don't want to like completely max my legs out, because the strength work is supplemental. It's not supposed to tire me out loads. It's supposed to help the running. So I just make sure I've always got some gas in the tank at the end of my sets, and that means I'm keeping within the right limits for the kind of work that I want to be doing. I do 2 sets of 6 reps of front squats after my barbell back squats, and then we move on to single-legged Romanian deadlifts, which are hard work. I don't always know why I've got these in my program at the minute, because they're kind of miserable to do when you're working with really, really heavy weight, but we get them done, and then we move on to more of the isolation work. So I do some single-legged calf raises, and then I move on to resisted hip flexion with the cable machine, just so I can really like load this movement up. If I use the cable machine and use the support column there to balance, it means I don't have to think about balancing at all. And once I've done that, I move on to really heavy calf raises using the leg press, so I can just slap a load of weight on and calf raise as much as possible. Fridays I get up really early, so I just did not remember to film anything on the run to work. I do an upper body strength training session between coaching clients, and then I just run home after work, and that's kind of all that I have going on a Friday in terms of training.
Set, go!
Saturday I go to park run and I use it as a session. So before the park run I do an 8-minute sub-threshold rep, and then I just have whatever rest between finishing that and park run starting, which can be like a couple of minutes, it can be 10 minutes depending on timing and when park run starts. But the idea is to do park run at sub-threshold. Today was a bit weird. I wasn't feeling great. I was supposed to be driving to Wales after work later in the day, and I was just getting anxious about it. It was really hot. I just felt like there was maybe a bit just too much going on in life in general. So I finished this feeling not great, and then I went to work, and a bit later on in the afternoon did my strength training session. The gym was very hot, so I did have to like modify this session a little bit. I do some plyometric stuff, which I always have really good fun doing these. It's a bit of a a callback to my parkour days, really doing stuff like this, but I just find it really, really fun to do, and I really enjoy putting this kind of movement in my training, even if it's not like optimal for running. It's just good for general health and general functionality to be able to do stuff like this. And then I move on to my heavy stuff, do my warm-up set of trap bar deadlifts, and just make sure I'm ready to lift heavier weight. Because it was so hot in the gym on this afternoon, I did reduce the volume of the reps I was doing on the trap bar deadlifts. I was just doing 5 rep sets because it was so hot, and there was just no point in pushing it really when I've got 4 sets of these to do, and it just meant I had enough gas to do my full volume of deficit Romanian deadlifts, because I just feel trying to get all 6 reps of these is a bit more important than trying to do it on the trap bar deadlift. So made sure I focused on that, and then I completely forgot to film the rest of the workout because my brain clearly was not working on Saturday. But the only thing that was really different is I do some step ups, and then I do the other calf work and resisted hip flexion you've already seen from the Thursday workout. My original plan for the weekend had been to drive to Wales after work on Saturday so that I could do a Paddy Buckley recce on the Sunday. And I just felt so bad on Saturday mentally. I was feeling really panicky and anxious. And I was like, yeah, trying to do a 3.5 hour drive to Wales, sleep in a busy youth hostel, and then try and do a massive mountain run on Sunday it seems really stupid. So I switched plans, put a call out to see if anybody was up for just doing a exploratory run in the peaks, and then my friend Harriet and Steph, who's in Dark Peak, joined me, and Steph's dog Kinder, and we went and had a really nice adventure running around in the peaks on some familiar terrain and a little bit of new terrain covered for me, which was really, really nice. Had a nice mid-run dip, and just all round really enjoyable, and I'm glad that I chose to do this instead of trying to force myself to go to the Welsh Mountains and do a Paddy recce, because I don't think it would have ended very well. I was just a bit too fatigued and a bit too tired, and doing this was easier mentally and meant I could work the rest of my schedule more easily around this without stressing out about it. So not exactly what I had planned, but I think this was the better option given the circumstances in order to still get like a good day of training in. That's the week. Quite a lot, but I think it's all going pretty well at the minute, and I will catch you in the next one.